Good afternoon, Wayne State Facilities Management Group. My group and I are here today to discuss a few issues we have found with the Wayne State University sidewalks. But first, I have a few questions for you guys. If you could traverse campus without having to walk around broken concrete, large puddles, and large sheets of ice, you would feel safer, wouldn't you? I mean, I would. I definitely would. Or if campus was more adaptive to disabled pedestrians or pedestrians who use non-conventional ways to get back and forth through campus, such as bicycles, longboards, and that would definitely help the model of inclusiveness that Wayne State likes to push. So with that, I'm going to give you guys a brief scope of what we've done with this project. We started with field research, and then we went to our library research, and Sarah was kind enough to send out a survey to every one of you guys. So we'll get to that. So a few things we found with the field research were several violations to the Americans with Disabilities Act. Some of those being slope issues, some of those being handrail issues, and just poor maintenance of the concrete in general, with some very unsafe areas. Our area of focus was the area between Cass Avenue and Anthony Wayne on Warren. And so the problem's obvious. We feel that the concrete is being neglected on Wayne State University's campus. The students are not feeling safe, and that's part of the survey results we got back, is not many people feel safe walking on these sidewalks. The solution, we would like to increase the public safety of Wayne State University for its faculty, students, staff, and guests. To do so, we're bringing this issue to the facilities management team in hopes of getting these sidewalks either repaired, replaced, or properly maintained. To repair them, they could do that themselves. To replace them, it would be a contracted issue to go through and get all the sidewalks replaced. And if worst comes to worst, if we get nothing out of this, at least we brought light to you guys on how the students feel about the conditions of the sidewalks. Summarized group recommendations fall into the conclusion, so we'll get to that later. I would like to first start by introducing my teammates. To my left is Austin Smith, a junior civil engineering student here at Wayne State University with knowledge in concrete design and an upcoming internship at SME, which is a materials testing group for civil engineering materials. To his left is Sarah Kuchark, who's also a junior civil engineering student at Wayne State University with concrete design experience as well. And she starts her internship at ACOM in the summer. To my right is Tyler Chauvine. He's got concrete design experience. He's got project management experience and construction experience. He's a senior here. And myself, I'm also a senior civil engineering student with 4+ years of facilities maintenance experience and concrete design experience. And I also start my internship at Turner Construction in the summer. So we have a very, very well construction background. The duties here, Austin is going to start off with the first set of discussion and data. He'll give you a background of what Tyler will elaborate on a little bit more further on in the presentation. Tyler, like I said, he will elaborate. He's going to give us the main problems that we see in the field. He'll present you with pictures and evidence that the concrete is not in the condition it should be. And Sarah will be concluding our speech with just a general wrap up, and she'll be opening the floor for questions. So without further ado, I'd like to hand the mic off to Austin.
Thanks, Gary. So as Gary mentioned, I'll be covering the first part of our discussion. And in my part, I'll be discussing quite a few things. First of all, how our team developed our question and why our question is important, how we addressed the question and the steps that followed, and why we chose the methods that we did to address our question and move forward. So coming to our question, while traversing between classes, mostly between Old Main and the UGL, every day our team noticed that after this winter, the sidewalks were getting worse and worse. There were major puddles on the ground. We were tripping and falling between classes, and we found ourselves navigating the sidewalks and often having to run on the grass or around the sidewalk even to get between classes. We found ourselves asking, do the sidewalks at Wayne State need to be repaired? And if they do, what are the possible solutions? To figure out if our team was crazy or if there was a real problem on hand, first thing we did was send out a survey to all of the students in this class as well as the other 4 classes we're taking. And we asked the students for their opinion on the sidewalks at Wayne State and whether or not they felt they were acceptable, safe, pedestrian friendly. And within only a few short days, we had almost 80 responses, which is almost the entirety of all of our classes because they share so many students. And a large majority of the students felt the sidewalks were a danger and in need of repair on campus. So fueled with this knowledge, the next step our group took was deciding whether or not, the next step our group took was to conduct secondary research in the student center and in the library to figure out what was broken and what counts as a sidewalk piece that needs to be fixed, what kind of things go against the ADA compliances, and what kind of things were in violation of other codes. So we researched the ADA and the MDOT standards for sidewalk conditions and repair and found many detailed standards for sidewalks as well as the law surrounding them that were being broken. So this research here gave us the tools that would allow our team to gather information when we moved the next step, which would be into the field. So when we went into the field, what we're calling the field would be Warren Avenue between Anthony Wayne and Cass, the sidewalks, and then the sidewalks as well, moving from Warren Avenue down Gullen Mall towards the UGL. Our team decided to meet up one morning on a nice day and measure cracks and broken pieces of concrete, as well as photograph the sidewalk along Warren and the part of Gullen Mall that we chose. We chose this section because not only was it our primary walking path between our homes, cars, and classes, but also as we travel around campus all over, we've noticed that this section specifically is the worst of what our campus has. And all along the street, we noticed countless gaps between slabs. We noticed elevated concrete 3 to 4 times the acceptable amount. We noticed large broken pieces of concrete that were retaining water, missing slabs, sunken manholes, ADA slope violations, and dozens of other pieces of concrete in poor conditions. This field research gave us a clear understanding of not only what needed to be repaired, but was also originally built against the code. We have steep ramps in front of the science hall. We have missing handrails by Old Main, poor drainage systems at the corner of intersections that lead to huge puddled up water that you can't even cross Warren Avenue by Old Main half the year. And all of these are a huge problem to pedestrians, especially to the disabled pedestrians who can't easily walk over the curb and walk over the grass. So the sidewalks most definitely are in need of attention and are being neglected by the school. After gathering the data we needed, our group decided to speak with the head of grounds on campus to get a better understanding of their schedule and what their plan is to repair this, because obviously our school has some schedule of planning to fix sidewalks. They have some kind of routine that they're going through, but we feel that the sidewalks are being neglected and that any plan they have should be pushed forward, and especially bring to the light the ADA violations they may not even realize are on the campus. But to our dismay, the position for head of grounds at Wayne State is currently empty, leaving no direction for the department and leaving us with no understanding of any plan they may have to address the questions of our sidewalk repair and negligence. So looking back at kind of the things I was just discussing, because of the conditions of the sidewalks we travel on, our team are asking the questions, do the sidewalks need to be repaired? And throughout well-responsive surveys, detailed secondary research, and extensive primary research and documentation, and desperate attempts to contact anyone who would be responsible for this broken concrete or the grounds of Wayne State, we have actively addressed the question at hand. And to continue this discussion and bring you new and more detailed information, I'd like to hand over the floor to Tyler.
Thank you, Austin. Again, my name is Tyler. I will be speaking about our field investigation and research. And these are best explained with visuals, so expect a lot of pictures. So in this slide, we have a Google Earth image of the area we investigated. This is on Warren in between Cass and Anthony Wayne Drive. And it's approximately 49,000 square feet, and that's also a measurement taken off Google Earth. The red is generally the areas that are of most concern, although there is other areas not shown in the picture. The green is obviously the good. The main issues we investigated were slopes, slab elevation differences, crack widths, and pooling water. So slopes. The ADA standard for slopes says that there can be no more than an 8.3% running slope and a 2% cross slope, and this is based off of their concern is for somebody in a wheelchair possibly accelerating too fast on a sidewalk or possibly even tipping over. So we utilized in the field a level and a measuring tape to try to measure the slopes of sidewalk pieces that we thought were out of compliance. So in this picture you can see me measuring the slope of a slab of concrete, and this is one of the areas that we found out of compliance, and we measured this to be about 12.5%, which is out of that 8.3% mentioned earlier. And this is right outside Science Hall on the exit to Warren. And then another area not shown in the picture was in front of Old Main, and it was a ramp extending well beyond 30 feet, which is also out of the ADA compliance. So next is elevation differences. So the ADA standard states that crack elevations cannot exceed greater than 1/2 inch. This picture shows a slab elevated greater than 1/2 inch, and we saw this frequently throughout our investigation, but the areas we'd like to mention are on the north side of Warren, along the strip of the road. There's plenty of trees every so many feet, and you see a lot of this elevated concrete near these trees as a result of what we think is the roots growing under the concrete and uplifting the slabs, which creates a tripping hazard. Crack widths. The next thing we investigated was crack widths, and the ADA standard states that concrete sidewalk crack widths cannot exceed 1/2 inch. This picture was taken right off of Warren towards the pharmacy building. And we encountered these quite frequently throughout, and through our surveys we found that these are a nightmare for skateboarders, rollerbladers, anybody trying to get around on wheels. It's terribly a nightmare, and we've heard some horror stories throughout our investigations. So finally, pooling water. So the ADA standard states that there can be no pooling water within a walkway. So concrete is initially designed to provide slope for proper drainage, but not too much slope. As mentioned earlier, there's got to be within 8.3 and 2%. So there has to be enough slope for the water to move somewhere to drain properly. And over time, concrete deteriorates, or it's not well maintained, not taken care of, and it begins to pool, as shown in these pictures. This one's just off Warren, and I believe this is on the corner of Anthony Wayne. And these can be a hazard because pedestrians are now challenged, and they must take a different route to get where they want to go. So in this picture, it could be even more harmful because that pedestrian might consider going out farther into the road to enter at a different point. And then if you're in a wheelchair, in this instant, I just don't see how it's possible for you to get where you need to go without, creating some safety concern for yourself. And then also in the winter, it can become very slippery if frozen. So general improvements. There are also plenty of areas around campus that have just been neglected, as this is right outside of Old Main, and it's just a concrete slab missing. And then if you look at the manhole next to it, it's dipping, creating a lip greater than 1/2 inch, which is also out of ADA compliance. And then you can see the deficit right here, which is also greater than 1/2 inch. It's probably a couple inches. Then outside of the pharmacy building, this picture was taken, and this is what they were trying to repair, the brick pavers with actually putting in concrete, when really you should just do it all at once, get it repaired, get it done, but they're just, if one block falls out, they put a little piece of cement in. And then now I'm going to pass things on to Sarah, who will conclude and summarize our presentation.
Hi everyone, so as Tyler said, my name is Sarah Kacharik, and I'm going to be closing our presentation with a few solutions and recommendations that we have for the sidewalk issue at Wayne State, as well as giving you a recap of everything we've discussed today and telling you the main takeaway of this presentation. So to start off with some general solutions that can be done, the picture on the left shows some sidewalk that can